He is a familiar figure on our television screens, on our radios, and he does not talk much about himself. But today we decided we are going to find out more about Barnaba Korir, an executive member of Athletics Kenya. Actually, he does a lot with the youth, with the kids, with everybody, even journalists. He's also written for the nation newspapers, if I'm not wrong. You are a jack of all trades, aren't you?
That is the right word, the jack of all trades. Of course, I write something every Thursday for the nation newspapers, and of course, it is exciting. Of course, to be jack of all trades is also a fine term because I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
And you enjoy talking to him. But did you know that he was also an athlete?
As a former athlete, I think my history goes many years back. At this age now, I don't know what we can talk about because when you see people are running, they're running so fast we don't even compare with what they used to do. But as a former athlete, I ran also for Kenya sometimes. I ran also for the universities in the States, for the colleges, and of course competed in many events in Europe and also in other places in the world.
Which events are those you're not telling us?
From primary schools, I was a long jumper, triple jumper, and ball folder. And I actually competed at the national level in 1975 when I was in primary school in Mombasa for the long jump and triple jump and also the ball fold. Thereafter, I did not participate until I reached high school. When I was in doing my A level is when I started running. Because my brother was a good athlete in the US and he was doing very well at the university level, I decided to run also and say, hey, maybe I have something. Definitely, I discovered that, yes, I was also a very good athlete. And that's why I have decided to support this development of youth talent because until you try, you can't know what you have. That's when I discovered now I started running for high school when I was in Form 5 and made sure that I competed at the national level. I was given a scholarship thereafter to go to Iowa State University. And then that is where my career started.
And you can hear that accent slightly when he starts talking about America. You can hear the accent. So you are also in the Hall of Fame.
Because of the performance and the work we did, not only in athletics, but also working with people, working with communities in the US, the university realized that, yes, I have contributed a lot for that university. All of them was not only about athletics, it was also working with the team, working with the university, also doing when in class, and that's how the universities measure the kind of contribution that an individual has given to the society, the community, and to the university. And I was inducted into Hall of Fame in 2019.
Congratulations. You've walked the talk, you're still walking the talk, and now you are behind the scenes. How did you get into administration and management?
When I came back from the US, of course I did not enter directly into management of athletics. I went to Kenyatta National Hospital as a senior internal auditor, where I worked for 4 years after I came back from the US. And then immediately after that, I decided to continue now nurturing talent, assisting those kids who want to go to US. I sent most of them to go to the United States, especially the universities, working with some colleagues and also my brothers. And then after that, I decided now to run for a post in Athletics Kenya because I was working very closely with other managers to support or at least to go to Europe, to go to compete in some races and working with people like Pamela Chelimo, Paul Koech, Kipshele, and those are now the people who helped me to nurture their talents. Opening camps in Ngong, in Iten, in Kapsabet, in Kericho, and also Kaptagat. We had so many athletes, and that's how now I ended inside, immersed myself in athletics, and that's how now I contested for a position for Nairobi, and which I won, and I stayed for one term, and then now I contested also for a position at the national level. That is now a security member. I was also chosen, and then I was given now the opportunity to manage the youth because that's where my passion is.
Where is the passion coming from? Because you not only nurture just talented people, but you're also now nurturing the youngest of the youngest. Where is the passion coming out from?
The passion, as I said before, it's innate. It comes from you, your history. You know, when I look at what happened when I was young, that I did not even have the opportunity to compete when I was in primary school until I reached A levels, when I said, okay, I have something. That is where now that passion came and say, okay, if I was able to do something for myself through athletics, I went to school through athletics. There are so many opportunities for our kids that they can also manage to change their lives, to change their families' lives through athletics and education. This is what I'm doing, and I wanted to see what can we do, what can you give as a person to back to the society that also helped you where we are. We came from a very humble background, and we got support also from the public, from the community. So we say, okay, why don't we give back something to the community that helped you? And you get that feeling. You feel good when you see somebody is doing well. It is part of that. It's not only acquiring anything. When you see a child from a poor family going to university, succeeding, changing the lives of their parents, their siblings, that one is something that also is very satisfying to me. I don't know about other people, but myself, I get satisfaction from that, seeing somebody from difficult position, changing their lives and becoming someone in the society.
Actually, Mr. Korir, we are talking about a story for so many. When you look, we look behind us, we have Paul Tergat, and then we have Catherine Dereva, and they also came from humble backgrounds. So that is athletics or sports changing lives. And there are so many camps are being run in the country working towards that, which you also need to talk about.
Yes, when I joined Athletics Kenya as a member of executive, the president of Athletics Kenya and the team decided to give me that opportunity to see what we can do. I carried from where they left and tried to transform everything. But what we wanted as a committee was to reach out to almost every part of the country. That's why we have so many camps. We do not want only to focus on the areas where we have the high number of athletes competing. We just decided and say, okay, let us, as a federation, let us give opportunity to every child from every corner of this country. So we went all the way to Northeastern, we went to Mombasa, all the way to Turkana, Western, and Nyanza. So we covered 54 camps that we have, covers every part of this country, so that if there are kids that are really interested in running, then we give the opportunity. We are also appreciative of what the government has done. Our government has provided us the resources to implement. And those resources, you can see now, there's a lot of interest for the young people to run. In every schools, we partner with them so that we get the teachers from those schools to be trained by Athletics Kenya so that they can assist these kids. The interest that is coming now is a result of a determination from the federation, from the support from the government, and to ensure that our kids also understand that, yes, they can change their lives through athletics, they can change their lives through education, and it is only us who have gone through that experience whom can actually instill the discipline, the support that they need so that they can also be responsible people. We have made a lot of changes for our federation. Maybe we don't talk much, but at least Kenya has done so much to ensure that they give the support to these young people, to ensure that they nurture their talent, they execute their talent, and you can see now what's happening. Even the kids that we train, we supported to go even for training in Miramas. They all managed to go to US. They are running very well. We have a girl now, Winnie, who has broken the national record many times, and she's number one now. She's leading now in the long jump in the US, a university, a Kenyan girl from the background, Winnie P. And you can imagine that inspiration that she's going to give to other kids, to other girls who are growing. So this is a transformation that the federation has done, a federation that needs support from the public, from the government, so that they can change the lives of athletes and other people in this country.
But as we talk about that, we are not lost on, there are so many challenges that people are facing along the way to do with GBV, to do with doping. What has AK done about it under now under your regime?
Our president, General Tuwe, has done so much to make sure that they established committee, especially for women affairs, to protect and safeguard the lives of our athletes. A society keeps on changes, it's dynamic, and it comes with its own problems. The dynamic changes in a society takes place, so it brings with it so many changes, some good, some changes are bad. So it is now the responsibility of Athletics Kenya to ensure that, yes, we have a safeguarding policy that ensures the protection of the vulnerable, be it women or be it men, so that everybody is treated at bar. Although women have suffered the most, Athletics Kenya has instituted, with the support of the government, the ministry, uh, plans to protect those who are victims and to help, give advice, support either financially or socially so that they can settle, and to start educating now those people who could be abusing those athletes. We have now a safeguarding policy that has already been established in concert with AIU and ADAC, and in those safeguarding policies, it gives guidelines on how it can be implemented, so that anybody who might take advantage of the young athletes, be it boys or girls, is protected, and therefore there are also reprimands that can be given to whoever takes that initiative to start abusing those kids. So in the long term, I am sure that is going to change, and respect and integrity will again be established in athletics.
We've come a long way hosting international events. Now we're having Sirikwa. We hosted the Africa Athletics Championship, the Under 20, and so many, the World Cross Country and all that. When you look back at Athletics Kenya and its achievement, how can you sum it up?
The success of an institution depends on its leadership. And we have a leader who has really guided us in how we can function. General Tue has done so much in guiding us on how we can establish responsibilities in our institutions. That's why, as a vice president of World Athletics, he is able now to bring all these events so that we can organize. As a director of several meetings in this country, with the support from the president and the executive, we are able now to organize international events at the level that there is now. We have Koli level 2 events, that is Jepsaita cross country, which is in 2 years we were given Koli level. We have Sirikwa, this is the 4th year Koli level. We have the Continental Tour, which is a very big event, that is Kipkeno Classic, which is coming, and of course the marathon. And then there are other activities going on within this country. And I would like to tell the Kenyans that it is time now to appreciate what the Federation has done, to appreciate what the General has done in guiding us on how we can manage affairs. Remember, this is the only federation that has got its own grassroots from the ground all the way to the leadership. We have from the country, we have from the region, we have the national now, executive members at every level. The leadership is there. That ensures the structures are maintained, the leadership is maintained, and we are able now to organize activities from the grassroots all the way to the nationals. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the national championship. The national championship was not only about the institutions, it was about the athletes from down the grassroots all the way to the nationals. And on top of that, the partnership that we have with the Ministry of Education, primary and secondary schools, we have an executive member who is Director of Education sitting in our board from the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education is the one that gives us now the young athletes that we can train and make sure that they represent this country. By working together very closely, we ensure continuity. We ensure that the young athletes that go to primary schools, secondary schools, compete also in our events. They have their own events, and we also go to look at them when they are there. We support them when they are there. They support us when we're here, and we are one, the Ministry of Education and Athletics Kenya, and that is why we have continuity, and we want to continue supporting the Ministry of Education to nurture the talent and to grow our young athletes so that they can pursue education at the same time benefit from athletics.
People are talking about we need a change at Athletics Kenya. We are heading to elections at Athletics Kenya and also heading to elections at NOC. What's your take? What's your stand?
There's a very wrong perception from the public. And that wrong perception is that the assumption that Athletics Kenya refused to go for elections. When we went for election, it is the judiciary that stopped us from midway. We are done midway. We have reached midway. Somebody went to vote and stopped us. And that continued for 8 years to force us to be in AK. Nobody at Athletics Kenya has ever refused to go for elections. Even if you were to hold the elections tomorrow, we are ready. A sane person knows that you are not going to be in athletics forever. And that's why we are preparing now so that others can take over from institutions that has already been been established. We don't want to leave this place and then things go wrong. That's why we bring everyone on board. And we want elections at any time. So that those people who think that they can come and lead, they take the opportunity to do that. If they feel that myself, Korir, is no longer necessary here, of course, it is not my institution, it is Kenyan institutions. I can go. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. The most important thing is to do the job when I'm there. So that if I leave now, I am satisfied myself. My inner feelings knows I did my best. So whoever comes, the other Kenyan comes, they can run it the way they see it fit for themselves to improve whether we went wrong or continue whatever they want, because that's the leadership.
When you look back as we wind up, how do you rate yourself over the years from when you are an athlete up to now?
You know, I don't know how to rate myself, but I can rate myself in one way, that I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. My success is the satisfaction that I have in me, that I have done my best to achieve what I want to do what is right. From my background, I have no regrets. I was in high school, I went to Form 6, I went to university, I focused on my education. I worked also in an institution of excellence like Kenyatta National Hospital. I left that place, my head high. I came here, I'm still satisfied. I'm a family man, I take care of my children. What else do I need other than to do what is the best for the position I've been given? The day that comes to go home, I'll go home knowing that I did my best. Maybe my best did not satisfy other people. That's fine. That's our opinion. But what I know is, if I did anything wrong, every human being can make mistakes. But what I know is, I'm doing my best according to my feelings, not according to somebody else. As long as I do something which is satisfying, as long as I see the kids doing well, as long as I see them smiling, as long as I see them cheering, that's my satisfaction.
No elections.
No election is, it is on the 24th of April. The Federation has decided that I go for the post of deputy vice, president. That is first vice, put it that way. And it's for their decision. The president and his team sat down, they analyzed every position. They also discussed about the interest of Athletics Kenya, not Korir's interest. So when I go there, if I am elected, I wish I could be elected, is to serve the interest of AK and the entire federations. It is not that they support me to go and serve my own. No. They want me to go there so that I can talk on behalf of athletes, on behalf of federation. I have been there for the last 4 years as a member of executive for NOC. When they have been there, the federation is also satisfied for what I've done for this federation.
What have you done, Mr. Korir? If I were now the one who is giving you the vote, tell me, why would I vote for you?
You would vote for me, I know. And you know why? Because I was appointed the chief de mission to Commonwealth Games. It went very well, there was no issue. I was appointed the deputy chief de mission for Olympics. It went very well. In the process between the organization of camps, organization of athletes, both for Athletics Kenya and other federations. When I went to Commonwealth Games in Australia, that was 2019, there were problems concerning other federations, especially the kits, the equipment they were using. I worked very hard to ensure that every federation who has athletes in that got what they wanted. They got their kits, they got the equipment they were using, boxers got their materials, the cyclists. I made sure that I pursued the government to buy them the bicycles to use when they were there. So they know what I am capable of doing to ensure that they get what they want. And that's why I say that given a chance and a better position, we can change everything with the team. Remember, I'm a team player. We work very close. But I fight for the interest of the athletes at any level. Maybe that is my strength, is to ensure that whatever opportunity there is, I ensure that whatever requirement the athletes want, they will get it. I don't sleep until they have it, and they know it.
I can vouch for him. He doesn't sleep until the job is done. I don't even know how you manage. Anyway, parting shot, what does the future hold for you?
I don't want to talk about myself for the future. I want to talk about what does the future hold for our own institutions, for AK, for other institutions that also are working for the athletes. It's not about me. It's about what can we do to make sure that they receive what they deserve. How do we convince the government to pursue? I'm just even from the ministry now to ensure that we have the tartan be installed here before Kipendo Classic. Because if we don't have tartan here, we are not going to have Kipendo Classic. And I've been there since morning pursuing that matter, talking with Mondo and also the peers to ensure that they support that. And that is what they have assured the federation, that they are going to install it. So the president here is going to follow and make sure that that thing is done. So thinking about me, no. I'm thinking about the future of the sport and which level we can take it. There's so much opportunities in athletics, there's so much opportunities in rugby and any other sport. Because I went to school in the US, I understand the importance of sport by itself. That every weekend there's so many activities going on that benefits also not only athletes, but also entertainment for individuals. You can make a very big industry in sports that we have never even realized, even a quarter of what we can do. If we have football at a higher level, if we have rugby at a higher level, we don't have these young people running around. They will have participating in that, and then they will earn a living. And then the industry now, sports, and getting money out of that will be used now to elevate the level. And I want to just with a parting shot that Kenyans don't understand one thing. When you see these athletes are running, nobody has tabulated how much they bring every year. I have tabulated in a simple manner the amount of money that our athletes win in every part of the world, because they are running everywhere. It is not less than 10 billion by year that our own athletes, with these small young athletes, they bring to this country in terms of foreign. So if really an institution that brings by itself more than 10 billion, you can go and check yourself. Calculate all the rest that they win. Now, remember, we have not even added the amount of money they get as appearance. We are talking about prize money only. So if it is 10 billion, why don't we see it as Kenyans that this is an asset that we have to protect at every level? That Kenyans understand that this is the sport that really brings us a lot of resources for Kenyans. Why don't we understand that we have to make that stadium so that they can train? They're running in the bush and they're still winning. They don't have the training facilities and they're still winning. Others are running without shoes and they're still winning. I mean, you can imagine what can happen if the resources were focused in this industry, the sport by itself alone. One person in America playing football or one of those best players can even fund the ministry alone. One individual can fund the ministry that we are running here, as the resources alone, as an American, to fund even how many years our ministry here. You can imagine the kind of money that you can have it. Can we think about it? That if an individual in America can fund our ministry with maybe 15 billion, and they're running even almost 150 billion, where are we? So let us turn the sport to be interesting for everybody and to know that this is an institution that can bring us resources, earnings for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Barnaba Korir, always championing for others' rights, championing for the institution and for the athletes that he serves every day, and he serves other sports as well. I'm sure I'm saying what is right.
Absolutely. You know, it is okay. You know, when we cannot talk only about athletics. We talk about football. We talk about rugby. In fact, when I was at home the other day, we are already discussing where we are going to have Siriku. I was telling Ibrahim Hussein, now you can turn this place also so that we can have rugby. He has already done that in his local village. We have asked him also, because he has enough space, to build a football pitch, maybe 2 in that place, and encourage other sports, and you will see the change that will happen in that area.
Yeah, so you've heard it from the man himself. He's a legend in his own profession. He doesn't talk about it, but he's a legend. And thank you for doing so much for this country and for the sports men and women in general. Back to you, Amfa PD.